Now we're going to be learning about two-point perspective. When using two-point perspective, you will still have a horizon line, but this time you will have two vanishing points. So I'm going to label this VP1. And then you will have a vanishing point at the opposite end of your drawing, and that's what I'm going to label VP2. So I've got two vanishing points, okay? Now when we did one-point perspective, you started with a basic shape being drawn. This time though, you will not start that way. I'm going to draw lines all over my paper. Okay, this is just because I would like to show multiple shapes. So the way that I'm starting that is with one single edge. Now anything that has a point, like the end of a line, needs to connect to a vanishing point. So from the bottom of my line, I'm going to line my ruler up with vanishing point number 1 into the bottom of my line. I'm going to draw it as long as I want to. Just like I did on the bottom, I'm also going to do to the top. So I'm going to line my ruler up with the top of the line and my vanishing point number 1. I'm going to draw it nice and long. And then I am now going to go the opposite direction. So I'm going to line my ruler up to the bottom of my line and to my vanishing point. I'm going to stop when I want to. I'm going to do that with the same. Right up here and then stop where I want to. Now I can go ahead and connect my two lines. So it still looks pretty flat. It's not exactly how I wanted it to turn out. Like I'm not really seeing a whole 3D shape just yet. That's because I need to actually line my ruler up with this corner up here and my vanishing point number 1. I'm going to start letting this line travel back into space. Now we're getting it. And then back here, I'm going to line this corner up to vanishing point number 2 and draw a line. Voila! Now I have my 3D shape. So try this again in one of these smaller areas. So starting with a vertical line, you're going to connect your ruler to the vanishing point number 1 and to the bottom of the line, and you can decide as long as you want this shape to be. Once you have your bottom one drawn, go ahead and scoot your ruler up so it touches the top of your vertical line and vanishing point number 1. And I'm going to rotate over to vanishing point number 2. I'm going to line my ruler up so it's touching vanishing point number 2 and the end of my line. And then I can decide how long I want this to be. And I'm going to slide my ruler up, make sure it's touching the top of the line and vanishing point number 2, and draw my line. Now I can go ahead and connect my lines. For this, because we don't have a lot of practice just yet with seeing straight lines or being able to do this without a ruler, please make sure you use a ruler, okay? All right, so next step, I need to take this corner and connect it to vanishing point number 1 in order to show that this is going back into space so I can see the top of my shape. Okay? And then I need to make this point connect to vanishing point number 2. And then I can erase the tails of my lines. And now I have my second shape. Now I'm going to try this one on the horizon line just because I want you to see that this is a little bit different. You're not going to see the top or the bottom of one of your shapes. You are only going to see the sides. Okay? So just like we did for the first two, I'm going to line my ruler up to the vanishing point, make a line, slide my ruler up, connecting it to the top of my line right here, and my vanishing point, scooting it down. And then I need to do the same on the other side, connecting my ruler to the bottom of this line, into vanishing point number 2. I'm going to make a line. I'm going to do that to the top of the line as well. And then I can stop when I'm ready. Then all I need to do is add my nice straight lines to the ends, erase any leftover lines that I didn't want to include, and that's how you do the one that's on the horizon line. Then I'm going to show you one shape from above the horizon line, okay? Let's make it your goal to do four shapes above, on, and under your horizon line. Okay? So, watching this video, you might have 1, 2. You could do this one and make it 3. And you could do another one down here if you want. Your lines, though, do not all have to be the same size. So, while I'm speaking of that, let me just make one of these a little bit longer, just to add some variety. Okay? Alright, so just like I did on all 3 of these shapes so far, I need to line the bottom of my vertical line up to my vanishing point and draw a line across. Slide my ruler very, very carefully. And I'm going to take the top of this line and draw down to where my vanishing point is. I'm going to take the bottom of this line and line it up to vanishing point number 2. Oops. And then I'm going to do that for the top of my vertical line. And again, you can stop wherever, but you will have to connect your lines. Okay, this time I'm going to erase any leftover tail marks from the lines that I don't want, or any mistakes. Now, just like I did for these ones, I'm going to have to take my furthest corner away from vanishing point number 2. I'm going to have to line it up and draw my line. I'm going to have to take the furthest corner away from vanishing point number 1, line them up, and draw my line. Oh, I don't think that went down. Let's try again. There we go. And draw my line. Okay? So when you are above your horizon line, you will see side 1, side 2, and the bottom. When you are on the horizon line, you will see side 1, side 2. When you are below the horizon line, you'll see side 1, side 2, and top. Okay? There's never ever going to be a time when you see all 4 sides. Usually one of your planes on a shape is hidden underneath, so you will see at most 3 sides. Now if you want to attempt to take this to the next level because you understand it and you like a challenge, try to build a dream house or a tree house. So just like I stacked a little bit up here, you can make one line longer and then a shorter one underneath it. Okay, you can start to rearrange these shapes all along the horizon line, anywhere you want to. I could even turn this into, let's say I want to put little posts here. And then I can make a doorway. So for the doorway, I would have to line up my vanishing point. And I can just make a nice mark and then 2 straight lines down. Can do the same with windows. Let's say I want windows over here. I'm going to have to line the bottom of it up to my second vanishing point. And there's my windows. Okay, so that's just one way that you can develop some of these basic shapes into an idea, a structure, parts of a landscape.